first group. Yes, thank you, Cosimo, for introducing. Well, the best greeting from the Netherlands. It's 90 degrees here. The sun is shining. And also I saw that we have blue skies in Europe somewhere, cloudy skies in Finland, yes. So this is really good to see, but we see daylight, and the light is also giving life to us and also to this first introduction course of EUACA, the digital platform of CZT. Well, I have also prepared a presentation about the introduction of grassroots sports, and I will try to make it interactive, this introduction. And of course, it was not that easy yesterday, but nevertheless, we tried, and we will try it again today. But I don't talk for 2 hours, so I hope that you have also some input for CZT. And also, we make 2 breaks during this introduction session. And one break is that we divide the attendees in 2 different groups. And also we will present a video about the World Sport Games, but I will come back on this later. But you all ask yourself, who is Henk? And I will share my screen now, start up the presentation, and I hope that everything will go right and okay. So I was born in the Netherlands in 1957, and I'm still living in the Netherlands. My sports was for 36 years the karate sport. I have a black belt, and I even founded in 1976 my own karate club, which is still existing. And also, since 1982, I start the voluntarily work in the national organization NCS, which is a cultural sports organization. And it's nearly 100 years old, this organization. And I did several things as chairman of a section karate. And since 1992, I'm active in CZT. And this was mainly based on the affiliation of my Dutch sports organization as a member of CZT. And since, I think, 10 years, I'm in the executive committee of CZT. And there I have the position as vice president, and in the function of sports director, I have to manage the 15 different technical commissions. And I'm also active in the working group strategy, in which we are thinking about the future of CZT, and also active in the World Sport Games working group. And this is to find the best candidates for future World Sport Games. And this is all voluntarily work, and still I have some time left to do my profession. And I'm a safety officer in the petrochemical industry, and I'm working at the moment for a building company who is helping to build the new buildings for ASML. And ASML is, I think, one of the famous companies who are building machines to produce computer chips. And well, so this is really big. This is really a lot of money, what is going around over there. And also about money, we will talk also later. But from origin, you are all coming from grassroots sports organizations. And when Cosimo was asking me to be part of this introduction and to be part of EUACA, I really felt privileged and honored to be your guest and to be your teacher. And he said, "Oh, Henk, can you do something about grassroots sports?" Yeah, why not? And then I was thinking, oh, what does grassroots sports mean? Is it just the sports that are playing on grass or whatever, yes. But then I did also some research and I found a very nice description. And I feel really happy that the description I found fits perfectly on the CCT international organization. And also, I think it is also fitting for your national organization. And when this is not the case, please reply on this definition and say, no, my organization is totally different. We are a top sports organization, whatever, because we also discussing the top sport organization. But what did I found as a nice definition for grassroots sports organizations? Well, it's a long line, yes. Grassroots sports means organized sports practiced at local level regularly by amateur sports and sports for all sports people of all ages for health, educational, and social purposes. A long line, but when we analyze this long line, we see some very interesting words. Well, organized, so this means something that it is not, oh, I do this today, but really there is a structure behind, yeah. And also local, it is not international or national, but it is local. That could be in your village or in your city, yes. Then we have also regularly and amateur, also two I think important words in this definition, and sports for all and all ages. And last but not least, health, education, and social purposes. So, and it was really an eye-opener for me. And I don't know, maybe I give it a try. Does some of you have another meaning about grassroots sports organizations? I see no hands. Daria, do you see hands so far? No? Well, so this means to me that everyone agrees with the definition of sport. And maybe you can ask yourself, is this definition also fits exactly to my national sports organization? Okay, let's continue. And you see, I made the words now in red, and you see now the sentence is going really alive for many people. So what we can do, of course, because grassroots sports, amateur sports is not only the sports that exist, we have also top sport. And when we divide top sport and amateur sports, we can make a very nice list of both types of sports. Top sport, that are mostly professionals who are doing top sport. There are a limited number of players, of course. Well, when you imagine you are a participant in the Olympic Games, then you are a very exceptional group of top sport players who is able to participate in the Olympic Games. Normally, competitions are national or international, and they have strict regulations. So when you look, for instance, to gymnastics, when you don't perform the different gestures exactly, well, you have fines and minus points. Yes. The results count by performing at a high level, and also there is commercial and sponsor interest. So it doesn't mean that what I'm just calling now is not exactly for amateur sports. Yes, and look, I came up for amateur sports is mainly grassroots sports or sport for all. We have huge numbers of players because everyone who's performing sport is in basic and amateur sports athlete, yeah. And we have mainly national competitions and less international competitions. There are regulations mostly adopted from the international regulations, but it is more we just play and have fun. And when we don't respect the strict regulations, it's okay as well. Yes, we are learning towards perfection. So the more we exercise, the better we get. And hardly there is any commercial or sponsor interest. Maybe you are in an organization that is more lucky that they have good sponsors and the money is coming in. But normally this is not the case for amateur sports. We can make another list about top sports. They have national and international sponsors. And of course, you can think of companies who are really big sponsors for top sport or top sport organizations. For instance, Coca-Cola is well known, car brands, well, and we can name many more. Yeah, they have income from TV rights, and that are mostly millions and millions of euros or dollars. Yes. And also the world unions are powerful and rich. For instance, we know from FIFA, the World Sports Organization for football, has more than $1 billion on the bank. Yes, they have excellent medical support. Yes, when you think you have something, a doctor is standing ready for you, and there is of course the interest of the spectators. Yes. And of course, everybody wants to participate in the Olympic Games, but a lot of them are not that good to be part of the Olympic Games. But this is really the top of all the top sports. But nevertheless, we have also the WADA regulations, which deals about doping, anti-doping, doping tests, and also fines when you don't obey the WADA regulations. And then, of course, amateur sports. Let's make also a comparison of amateur sports. They have local sponsors. When you are lucky, they have local TV for free. World unions are less rich and powerful. Sorry, world unions are less rich and powerful. Well, our organization is absolutely not a rich organization, and we are really grateful that the European Commission granted the EU ACA project, because from the money in CZT, it for sure wasn't possible. We have also medical support, but not structural. Yes, and we have less spectators. Yes, when you organize something in your national organization, well, you may be happy when you have 100 people on the tribune. Yes, and we have of course in CZT the World Sport Games, and we try to do it with Olympic allure. And of course, we hardly have any WADA regulations, but I have to tell you, we have a kind of WADA document or an anti-doping document. And this is just because CZT as organization is recognized by IOC, and they say when you are organizing international events, you have to test athletes for doping. Okay, this is the case, and this will also mean that during the World Sport Games in September in Serbia, we have doping doctors who are going to take tests from athletes. Then we can also compare the top sport organizations and amateur sports organizations. So a top sport organization has a national or even international staff. They are mainly professionals, less volunteers in the office, yes. But of course, when they are doing activities, for sure they need volunteers. They have important sponsors, national and international sponsors, and Coca-Cola, as I mentioned, is one of them. They will get subvention, yeah, that are mostly irregular and significant. And they broadcast on TV also regularly. And you even have sports channels which broadcast all big events from the international top sports organization. And this is certainly not the case for amateur sports organizations. And we can compare this, or we can focus this on our own CZT organization. We have a national or international staff, yes, and the staff are mainly volunteers and less professional staff. So we run on volunteers and have hardly any sponsors. And when we have sponsors, it is mostly local or national, and it depends on the activities we are organizing. We have subventions, yes, small and periodically. And so the subvention, what I mean here is for our EU projects. And also broadcast on TV is exceptional. So when we are organizing the World Sport Games, yes, maybe we are on the Italian news, but mostly we hire a TV team which is broadcast live on YouTube or on other social media. So what is equal between those both between the both sports organizations? They have an organized character, so they have a structure of organizing the events, but also how the organization is structured. They provide services to people who practice sports. Fair play is also a big important pillar in sports and in whatever activity we are organizing. And there is a need to be organized in order to regulate sports. So when you are not organized, it is very hard to make any regulations for sports. And of course, the understanding that sport is a basic principle of mankind. People should have the possibility to perform sports, and well, it has also the benefit that we keep people healthy and that they have social contacts. So we can make also statements, and I'm not complete, I will tell you now, and this is also why we are going to split up after these statements, the groups, the attendees in two groups, and we ask you a specific question. So this is the statements I'm going to make. No top sport without amateur sports. Top sport athletes are born out of amateur athletes. Top sport needs amateur sports. Sport is a healthy and social activity. Fair play belongs to sports in general, and sports at any level must be of good quality. So and you see we can fill up the slide with more statements, but the place is for you. And the question to you is, after we split up the groups, that one of you will be the spokesman of the group, and that you try to come up with 3 new statements about sports. And we ask you to put the new statements in the chat box. So, Cosimo, I give the floor back to you. So you are able to divide the groups.
Yeah, for sure. So you find now in the chat.
First group, chat room. Alicia.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Sorry. Right.
Could you switch on the camera, please?
I unfortunately cannot. For some reason, it is broken on my laptop.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, the mine is fine.
Should I post the lines into the chat as well?
Yeah, okay.
One
But tell me something about the discussion. Was it difficult to come to 3 new statements about sports?
I guess the last one was slightly more difficult to word, but otherwise, we came to a pretty fast consensus on a lot more than actually 3.
Yeah, but we just choose the best one, eh?
Yeah, so our first one was grassroots sports bring the local community together and develop local culture. The second would be anyone can participate in grassroots sports, no matter their experience, social status, or race. And the third one is sport culture. Sport nurtures a feeling of belonging in people.
So about the second, could you repeat the second statement, because you triggered me on something. What was-
Okay.
yeah,
Anyone can participate in grassroots sports, no matter their experience, social status, or race.
race, yes, but is this also including disabled people and able people?
Yeah, basically everyone is just. I wasn't gonna write out absolutely every single person, so
Okay,
it can
everything.
be anyone who can participate in it.
Okay. Okay, well, that sounds really nice. And the third one, so I was thinking about the second you mentioned, but what was the third?
Sport nurtures a feeling of belonging.
All right. Well, put those 3 statements in the chat box.
They're already in the chat box, I
They
believe.
are already in the chat. Excellent work, Alisa. Let's go to the next spokeswoman or man from the second group. Maybe you come up with the same. You did copy paste, but I don't think so. You had a good discussion, and I'm curious what kind of statements you made about sports.
Yeah, I can go for the second group. Hey.
Yeah, hello from Estonia.
Yep, Margot from Estonia, exactly. So we luckily came up with different statements, not the same ones.
Okay, that's positive to hear. Yeah.
So the first one was that you have to start from the basics. To enter organized sports, you have to enter a grassroots sports organization. Then the second one was that sport is connecting people, which is a little bit similar to the nurturing of belonging. And then the third one was that in sport you can compete with yourself and others and at your own level.
At your own level. Yeah, no matter how good or how bad you are in sports, you mean, eh?
Yeah, you can always compete.
Absolutely. Just another question. Did you also talked about the definition of grassroots sports? This was what I'm starting with. Because to me, it was a really eye-opener. But when you are now giving some comments, what is your feeling about the definition of grassroots sports?
I think it's really well defined by the structure and the purpose of the grassroots sport organization. And we didn't expressly discuss it in the group, but I think the first principle that you have to start from the basics really reflects the same principle, that you have to start from the grassroots to even get somewhere further.
But this means also that that it is really important that we organize grassroots sports in a very good way. Yeah?
Yeah, I absolutely believe so. Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for the comments, Margot.
Thank you.
Does somebody else would like to react on the discussion in the 2 groups, or do you say, okay, Henk, let's continue? We're getting hungry and we still have an hour to go. No further reactions, or are we too shy? Or should I select people by their names and ask questions to you? Essie from Finland. Yeah. Oh, you think? Oh,
Yeah.
Why did I put on the camera? Yes.
What?
Now you don't regret that you put on the camera that I saw your face and that you were saying, "Oh my God, I crawl back on it." Yeah. No, but yeah. So how was the discussion in the groups? Good.
I think it went well. We introduced ourselves and talk about this. Yeah, it went well.
Okay. Well, thank you for your contribution. Okay. I go start to share my screen again. Yes. Then we're going to look a little bit to the history of sports and what I can say about the history of sports. The member organization of CZT has all a kind of same heritage, and that's actually the socialism political color. Yeah, so that is so easy to call the red flag, and but there's a reason that this is the basic of many of our member unions. So I try to start the screen again. Yes, let's go. And I have to go back to the right slide. Yes, there are the statements. Oh, you put also the statements in the chat box so that it is also saved and that we can use it for further purposes. Margot from Estonia?
Yeah, I'll copy paste them.
Okay, excellent, excellent work. Okay, about the history of the sports, we're going back in time, yes? And then we hop on to the future, of course. So in the 18th century, there were big social differences between the rich and the poor people, yes? So I have to, yes. So we can divide the population in poor people and rich people. And you can also characterize the poor people that are mainly the workers in the factories, but also the farmers, etc. And also the rich people, you could define it as the leaders, the owners, or the managers in the industry, and the noble and in the noble positions. So that are the people who are living in castles and having a very nice time by partying the whole day. Yes, but also poor people, they are suffering mainly for their hard life. Yeah, so bad living conditions. The money they earn is just for living, yes, to buy the food. They have a low social class and also healthy problems, yes, health problems. And that is mainly caused by bad working conditions in factories, etc. Hard work. Then the rich people, they have another life, yes. The life is to enjoy and rule the society, yes. Money makes for them things possible. Sports is reachable to show their status. They are from the high social class, and in general, they have less healthy problems. Well, this is roughly, so it is not in detail. Otherwise, we should make another introduction course or another history course. But it's the basic, yes. Then we have also three major historical phases what changed the sports for the workers. The birth of the worker sports as a part of the bourgeois national sports movement. Now I have to look because my screen is partly hidden, yes. In the latter half of the 19th century, so that is the end of the 1870s and further, yes. Then also the development of worker sports movements as a part of the working class movement in the period between the First and Second World War. And it is really the growing of the organizations which really promotes worker sports. And for your information, CZT was founded in 1913 in Belgium, but I come back on it later, yes. So it was even before the First World War. And last historical phase is the joint activities of the worker sports movement with the bourgeois sport movement following the Second World War. And this is also something nice to see. We have here pictures, and those pictures are coming from the historical book of CZT, in which it is described 100 years of history of our international sports organization. And this was even a sports festival which was organized in Austria, in Vienna, and the pictures are coming from this. So we can also divide sports in elite sports. Think of tennis, and then you have to go back 100, 150 years back in time, yes. So tennis and golf, but also horse racing, because it's very costful to organize horse racings, and the people from the high social class, they have the money, they can buy the horses and the people on the horse. And they also gamble in sports. So, and then also the sports for workers is awakening. And one of the big sports in the early days is gymnastics, or at least physical activity. Yeah? So it is not when you do this at the Olympic Games, I think you don't earn any points, but nevertheless, we just concluded that you have to start sports at a low level to become, in the end, the world champion. So early 20th century, yeah, the poor people towards sports. I have to move also here, yeah. And then the conclusion is that sport is not a matter of money, yes. Sport is necessary also for workers and not only for the rich people. And it also raises the health condition, and it also leads to social inclusion. And the rich people towards sports, they are standing open for more worker sports, and it benefits also the rich people, because the result that people are doing sports is that they have a healthy condition. And that is also that they are not so sick when they are doing their work in the factories. So, so to say, the knife is cutting on two sides. Well, I don't know if it is an English saying, but in the Netherlands we say something like this. And when we are looking at the history of CZT, it starts in Belgium, in Ghent. That's the Flemish part of Belgium in 1913. And this is actually an answer of organizing worker sports. And it was, and CZT is of course an abbreviation, and it is original French wording, and my French is not so good, but it means Confédération Sportive Internationale du Travail. So this is actually a confederation of international workers' sports. So they were, and this is the goal, providing international sports activities to workers. And this is also a picture from the event which was organized in Vienna. And you can say, when they started worker sports, they have a big success, because I think thousands of people are here on the field of the stadium to do exercises. Affiliation of more and more national worker sports organizations from different countries. And when I entered CZT in 1992, it was really a worker sports organization. And of course, amateur sports was not so deep in our minds and in our and later on we even added the word amateurs in our English wording. So we are now the international organization for workers and amateur sports. And that is here the last sentence. CZT developed into workers and amateur sports in early the 21st century. So, and this is something what is more legal stuff, yes, but nevertheless, CZT, a sports organization, has a goal, has an aim, or has a purpose. And the purpose is, and I don't gonna read the whole story here, but CZT is an international non-governmental and a non-profit organization regrouping and representing its member organizations that practice sports activities. And also CZT is run by voluntary leaders. Maybe you are the new voluntary leaders, of course, and full of purposes that unexceptionally service its member unions. So we will help as CZT, as an international organization, our national members. So, and this is actually something for our executive committee. They should make policy based on the purposes and the aims of CZT. So let's look a little bit to the aims of CZT. We bring together sports organizations and promote the foundation of new organizations. Well, this is very simple. Are we successful? Yes, we are successful. I think in one of the groups, there was also a discussion about Mamanet, yes, and also by including Mamanet in our organization. For instance, Austria founded also its own Mamanet organization. We are cooperate with international organizations, and you can think of sports organizations, but we have also a cooperation with the International Chiropractor Organization, and that organization provides medical services during the World Sport Games. So when you have pain in your muscles, go to them and they will cure you instantly. We are also supporting our member organizations, and also we promote all activities to improve the practice of sports. Then we are doing more. We respecting the amateur status, and so we are not dealing with top sport, but we are doing amateur sports. We encourage people to practice sports and physical culture, and also promote peace and mutual comprehension. So, for instance, the one-liner in for the World Sport Games of 2000, I think it was 15, it was to bring peace to the world. Yes, because there was a war, and we had an answer that we should make sports and bring peace to the world. And also sustain cultural advancements and to improve wellness. Well, that sounds really noble. And we're trying to do this in all the activities we are providing to amateur athletes. So this was difficult stuff, but let's focus a little bit on how our CZT organization is organized. What is the most important is here on the right side is the CZT Congress. And the CZT Congress is the place to be for all national member organizations. And they vote about policies, they vote for the new executive board, and they have really the power. Yeah? So they choose the executive who should bring CZT a step further in the future by organizing and doing the things that benefits the member organizations. And we have, of course, a president. Maybe you have heard of him. He's that is Mr. Bruno Moleya. He's also the president of IHCS. And we have also people from IHCS, I think, here in our online session. And of course, we have the president's office, which is in Vienna. Sorry, which is in at the office of IHCS, yes. Then also we have the General Secretary, who is situated in Vienna, Austria. And we have, of course, the Treasurer. The Treasurer is controlled by the Controlling Commission, and we have also different task forces. Then, of course, the ExCom members, and the ExCom members have also specific tasks for media, for international EU projecting, and that's then we have marketing, of course, and then I have to and also we are doing a lot for young leaders, and Anu Rayayavi, who was also just in the session, is responsible for the young leaders. Then also, of course, we have seniors, because we are an inclusive organization, and one of the ExCom members is responsible, for instance, for sports for elderly. Then we have, of course, the sports sector, and I'm with 2 other ExCom members responsible for the sports sector, and those are, for instance, the technical commissions, and what is an important body in our organization. Well, but let's focus downwards. Here on the bottom of the slide, you can see the WVSG, which is the World Sport Games, organized every two years, so 23, 25, 27, etc. Then we have also the single championships, which are organized in the even years, and of course, the EU-funded projects. And EUACA is one of the many projects we were able to organize and to take part in. Yes, and then we have also other projects which could be defined by the ExCom to organize or to fulfill our policy. So we are structurized, and it's really working in a good way. So what kind of activities we are doing? Well, I just named some activities. So we are organizing championships, the single championships, and those are organized, for instance, by national member organizations. For instance, last year, TUL in Finland organized, for instance, tennis and swimming. Also, we are organizing sporting festivities, competitions, sporting and cultural manifestations, and this is something you can find back in the World Sport Games. And of course, we're organizing lectures and seminars. This is also part of the World Sport Games and one of the pillars of the World Sport Games. I come back to that later. And here is also the book for which describes the history of CZT in the first 100 years. And Cosimo will also put it on in the platform, so that it is possible for you to download it to your computer, and you can read the history of CZT. We have also our website and our CZT magazine. Yes, what we are doing, and also we are carrying economic and financial activities, contributing to the creation and circumstances favorable to the competitions and sports for all. So we have a solidarity fund in CZT, which is able to help poor unions, for instance, in Africa, that they are able to send also people to the World Sport Games. Then the publishing book, well, I just mentioned here the history of CZT, and also the International Solidarity Fund. Then we have also European projects, EUACA, Bridges, EUACA, and that are all Erasmus Plus projects. We have the congresses of CZT, which is organized in October or November every year. We have ExCom meetings, we have Technical Commission meetings, and then of course the championships and the World Championships. World Championship, the World Sport Games, the World Sport Games can be hosted by national sports organizations. Like 2023, it will be ICS organizing in Serbia and Italy. And in 2019, we had a cooperation between the city in Catalonia and the sports organization in Catalonia, USAC. Well, what we are trying to do as sports organization is to reach out to our amateur athletes all over the world. The activities as the World Sport Games are open. It is an open activity, which means also not members of CCT can participate, partners of CCT can participate. And what we're trying to do is to give amateur sports people the feeling that we are really doing an international competition, but with the big taste of an Olympic Games. So we make a break of about 10 minutes, yes, but please stay online, yes. And Cosimo will start up a movie, yes, about the spirit of CZT, the spirit of the World Sport Games. And we are coming back after the movie, and I will ask you about your feelings about the World Sport Games.
Yes,
Cosimo,
yeah,
the
and
floor is
here,
yours again.
can you, okay, yeah, here, because you know, sometimes Zoom is not the perfect place to watch movies. So you can scan the QR code and watch on your phone, or you have here also the information to find it in YouTube. Anyway, I will also show the video here. And so let's meet here again in 10 minutes, as Hank said, after the end of the video. And of course, we will talk about what is your impressions and feelings about that. So I'm going to share my screen now. Okay.
Oh, I stopped screen sharing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no worries.
Okay,
I have
no problem.
stopped.
Go ahead.
I think that you can see it, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start.
We have no sound, Cosimo.
Sorry?
We have no sound.
Ah, okay. Now?
We're very proud to be here with the team, and Forza Ragazzi, work hard and play hard.
After CSIT opened to individuals and to local clubs and everything, it has brought in a lot, and I think it's a very positive thing.
Well, we about teamwork, team spirit, and a lot of fair play in the meantime.
Enjoy this week of sports here in Riga. All the best in your competition.
For the glory of sport and the honor of our team. I wish you all the best of luck and enjoy.
is my the second game. I love it. A lot of new people around. I saw just one I met in Italy 2 years ago, so it's amazing to see them. And yeah, the first day I'm already happy, and we have 3 more days to go. So.
Corta, Tito, corta!
We meet a lot of people from Iran, from France, and all the people around the world.
You make contacts, you get new friendships, and I think that's also very great.
We want to thank the city of Riga for all the hosting, and we are the World Championship.
Today, I'm almost the older guy on the race. Okay, it's fine because the medal is for me.
You don't really care for music, do ya?
Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the barefoot king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
I'm very happy to do this important ceremony. We make the signature, the official signature for the next game in Catalonia, and it's a very important moment.
Countries, many players, vision, weather, food, games, fun, and win.
Really nice, but it was really, really hard. It's amazing.
The Riga, which is organizing such a big tournament, that's wonderful. And it is promoting Olympic and Paralympic movement.
Hey! With new friends, so take these thank you applauses to you guys. Thanks.
I'm in fact lost the voice during these games. But I will say some words and be very short. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for good results showing on the competitions. Thank you very much for very positive attention towards the culture, sport, events and social life.
Now the game is really closer. I see you all together in the 2019 in the next game. The World Sport Games 2019 in Tortosa, Catalonia.
the friendship that everyone has demonstrated here. Fantastic. I feel like I'm in an Olympic Games.
Okay, the video is finished.
Yes,
So
thank you.
yeah, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Cosimo, for showing us the video. And now we can ask the rest of the people who are attending this online session. What do you think about the games? And then it's silence, but otherwise I'm going to ask questions for certain people, so you can raise your hand or well, let's start with Nina from Croatia. Nina, what do you think? Would you like to be in those kind of games? What do you think is the spirit of CZT? Well, Nina is not reacting.
Let's try
Luca?
to see the one that has the camera open, maybe.
Maybe we tried. Well, I had already Margot for her contribution. Let's go to Irene from Italy. Irene, because we are going now in September to Italy to participate in the World Sport Games. So will we get the same feeling again?
For me, is a very big feeling of community and a place to have fun that simulates the Olympic Games. Also is a feeling of freedom and no prejudices.
Well, very good. I think I saw the movie many times already, and I'm convinced that this movie they made from the games in 2017 really expresses what we as our sports organization would like to provide you. Yes, fun, pleasure, happiness, games, dancing, meeting other people, etc. But maybe we are going to Michele Braganolo. Give your opinion about the games, please.
Yeah, for the video, make me happy. I enjoy myself to practice this in Italy.
Okay, Michele, sounds good. Yeah. Next question to you: are you present in Serbia in September? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Well, I'm going to ask somebody else because we have now two people from Italy. I'm going now to there's also Italy, I think. Let's have a look who is more present. Martina from Croatia, you didn't switch the camera on, but are you still there? And what is your opinion about the World Sport Games?
Well, it's nice because you can make some fun, meet new people, enjoying all kinds of sports, and you have also women's sports and men.
Yeah, very right what you're saying, but we have even mixed sports, so tennis, we have also mixed tennis and so. Really good. Would you like to join the World Sport Games?
Well, maybe.
Maybe. Well, what I can do is try to convince your national organization that they send teams to Serbia that we are participating, but because what we are doing now is already promoting the games of 2025. So when people are very enthusiastic about Serbia, the feeling about Serbia, they can block, for instance, the date for 2025 already in their agendas and say, I will be there again, and I bring also my friends or my club to the World Sport Games. So this is all possible, yes. Let's go to another one. Thank you, Martina, for your Vera from Finland. What is your opinion about the games?
I thought it looked like fun. I was thinking about, was it only for adults? I didn't see many children's.
I think they were encouraged to be on the movie, but also young people are there. But you can just make a selection but I really there are young people as well. Yeah.
Okay, and was it there like which sports? I saw volleyball and swimming, but
that is also a selection. That is also a selection of the sports. We have, I think, 23 different championships. So this means when they are all in the movie, we are now still watching the games and get bored a little bit. So, but it gives a really good impression, I think. Well, the last but not least, I saw Cower M. Yes, from somewhere in the open air. Are you still there? And can you give some ideas about your ideas about the World Sport Games? No? Okay. Then we're going to Estonia. Alicia. Come back, put the camera on and...
I mean, still the same issue. My camera doesn't work on my laptop.
The camera is broken, yeah, okay.
I'll try to get one, like a connection one, for my laptop for the next session.
Okay, that's very good.
I think the sports, the World Sports is really nice. I really enjoyed the part where people started to make international friends around the globe thanks to those games. I saw also there were performances of like people in cultural costumes and dancing, which I personally really like because I'm also a folk dancer. So it's really nice to see other people's culture also, besides only the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's study a little bit more the World Sport Games, because there is also a kind of policy behind our World Sport Games. And indeed, we would like to make a really big event with thousands and thousands of athletes who are participating. So you could say maybe this is a wish from CZT to organize the World Sport Games as the Olympic Games for amateurs. So you should sports with a happy feeling, I think. So I'm going to start up again. Yes, sorry.
Just to say that Riku has shared a link in the chat in which you can go through the World Sport Games disciplines and also find more information about the event. So thanks, Riku. Yeah, please.
Sorry, the water went in the wrong in the wrong pipe. I started the presentation again, and wait a second. The presentation again. Up.
And Veera from Finland writes that it's the first time that I've never heard about this event before.
Well, then it is good that she attends this session. Huh? Okay, we have 5 pillars. Yeah, so I have here the arrow with the 5 pillars of the world of our World Sport Games. Of course, first of all, what we are doing is organizing all CZT championships, and that are all the championships which are organized by our technical commissions. But also we have partner championships. So we CZT is providing the framework for the games, and that is they are taking care for the hotels, for the sports venues, for the transportation, for the cultural program, for the openings and closing ceremonies, for the nightlife, etc. So for the partners, it is very easy to organize their core business, and that's of course their championships. We have, for instance, fistball. We have, for instance, pole dancing. We have, for instance, golf. So these are not sports what are in CZT, but are brought in by partners of CZT. So then we have also the cultural exchange, and you can, we just heard it about the clothing of the Mexican delegation, but also cultural exchange could also be to meet the locals, because you'd like to know when we are in another country, you would like to know the food, you would like to know the people, and make friends over there. Then we have also the third pillar, that is health. So we're taking care of your health. And this is a partnership with our chiropractors. And they are showing up with 40 different chiropractors. And they are available in the championships, and they will help people with injuries or even preventive massages, etc. Then also we have conferences and workshops that are organized separate from the championships, but we can have conferences about what the organization did for organizing a sustainable games, but also we can talk about subjects that are relevant for sports or for people who cannot sport. Or then of course we have workshops. We also introduce new sports or demonstration sports, and they even can make their own workshops and inviting people for trying this sport. And but it is also possible for instance, for young leaders, when they would like to organize a workshop. Of course, it is possible. So you can show your capability in presenting those subjects that you are really taking care of. And then, of course, sustainability. That's the last new pillar in our organization. And we're trying to organize the World Sport Games with a footprint which is as low as possible. So, for instance, a very simple example is that we don't provide drinking water in plastic bottles, but we distribute steel bottles you can use time after time. But this is also really important, and for every edition, sustainability will be a bigger issue. Yes. Well, this is more the explanation which I already told you. Yes. Sports for all, also part of the sports activities we are organizing. So this is sports for all / sports for elderly, and people from 55 plus who doesn't sport that much are welcome. And even we are thinking about providing those people other activities than just sports. When you don't sport every day, yeah, and then you are forced to do everyday sports. I think after 3 days you can lie on the stretcher by the chiropractors and has medical treatment for the other 2 days. So we are thinking in providing them also workshops like cooking workshops or other workshops which are very attractive for those for elderly. Yes, this is also something that I think I explain everything so far. Maybe cultural exchange, I forgot the nightlife, of course, and this is going out into the disco, dance, whatever, and then the next day you try to sport again, yeah? And that's really for the tough ones. Then, when I would like to make a summary of my presentation, I come to this sum up, yes. CZT is a worldwide amateur sports organization, sports for all organization. So events and championships we are organizing are open for all amateurs. So not only members, but also not affiliated members. It is run mainly on volunteers. So we need you as a volunteer to make it happen, what we are intending to organize. And we are still developing in affiliating new sports and technical commissions, and of course new members. And at the moment, we are very attractive for other sports organizations from all over the world. We have membership application from China, from Australia, from Asia. This also means that those organizations could candidate themselves for organizing the World Sport Games. And for your information, the competition for the World Sport Games for 2025 was between a Greek organization and a sports organization from South Korea. But we had to choose, the lucky one was Greece, and they will present themselves already in September, what they are going to do as sports organization to make it attractive for you as amateur sports or amateur athletes to hop over to Greece and have a very funny time and with a lot of sports. We're also offering Erasmus Plus granted projects. The example is EUACA, for instance, yeah? And CZT is a real grassroots sports organization. So we 100% fits the definition we started on in slide 2. So we are coming slowly to the end, Cosimo, or not? Yes, and you are nicking. Yes, that's very good. We sum up some international grassroots sports organization, and they are also more or less competitors of CZT. And the task for CZT is just to do something different from that what the other international sports organizations are doing. So in the preliminary task, some people already mentioned those organizations. So Tafisa is also a very big organization, which doing almost the same in the field of sports as CZT doing, but they don't organize international competitions. Of course, we found the European University Sports Association, yeah, the EUSA. Then European athletes as students. So, and those organizations can also be invited to be part of the World Sport Games. ISCA, that's a real international competitor of CZT. But maybe we can say CZT is a real competitor of ISCA. Yeah? And of course, we have the World Federation of Company Sports. And that are more the older persons who are working in companies, who have company clubs, and they also organizing international competitions. Yes, and this is not directly a competitor of CZT because they are focusing on other ages. Yeah? But, and that's really something for you in the second task, your search on the internet. What we so the task is also explained in the platform. So read it carefully so that you understand what we are looking for. My idea was not to give you a task and that CCT is nothing doing with the outcome of the task. So you can provide us necessary and important information where our new member organizations are situated in the world. So look for sports organizations, study them, and then we come into the next slide. So what is part of the final task? What are the main visions of the organization? So we ask you at least to find 2 organizations, and it is really well explained in the platform. What different types of sports are they practicing? Are they doing the same, or are they complementary to our CCT organization? Which national organizations are affiliated to both international sports organizations? So we don't go to find new members which are already members of CCT. And what makes those sports organizations so distinguished when you compare it to CCT? And then maybe you heard of it, you can do a SWOT analysis. I don't go to explain in detail what a SWOT analysis is. So Google on SWOT analysis and you see what SWOT means. It is going, it's dealing about the strengths of an organization, the weakness of an organization, what kind of opportunities there are, and what threats there are. We as a sports organization, we are making also analysis about SWOT. Yes, so this tells us something where to work on, or in how we have to define our own policy. So important for every organization which works in a serious way for providing good sports for people. In my opinion, we are standing still when we are doing nothing, or even go back and when we are doing nothing. So your help is really welcome for CZT, and we challenge you to make the best out of the task.